You ever just look at your dog and think, what on earth are you doing? Yeah, you're not alone. So today, we're going to decode some of the most common, and sometimes just plain weird, things our dogs do.
I mean, we love them, we think we know them, but what are they actually trying to tell us with all those quirky little habits?
You know, like when you say their favorite word, maybe treat or walk, and you get that adorable little head tilt.
Or how about that classic bedtime ritual, the spin cycle they do right before they finally flop down? Well, it turns out it's not as random as you think.
Every single one of these things is part of a secret language. And you know what? Today, we're going to start cracking the code.
Okay, so first up, they're social signals. This is all about the ways they communicate directly with us and, of course, with other dogs.
Let's start with that head tilt. It's got to be one of the cutest things on the planet, right? But what's really going on in their brain when they do it?
Well, it's definitely not just for show. They might be shifting their ears to get a better fix on where a sound is coming from. Or, for dogs with longer snouts, they're literally moving their nose out of their own way to get a clearer look at your face. And get this, some research even suggests it's a sign they're really concentrating on a word they recognize. So yeah, they are totally tuning in.
All right, next mystery up, the yawn. Now, you see your dog yawn, you probably think, oh, someone's sleepy, right? Well, maybe not.
And here's where it gets really fascinating, especially for what it says about your bond. A study from Kyoto University found that yawning is contagious between dogs and their owners. That's a huge indicator of empathy. They are literally on your wavelength.
So a yawn is kind of like a Swiss Army knife for dogs. Sure, it can be a sign of empathy, but it can also be a stress signal. If they're feeling anxious, they might yawn to try and calm themselves and everyone else down. Sometimes it's just a way for them to switch gears, you know? It gets more oxygen to the brain, helping them go from relaxed to alert.
Okay, what about when they gently place a paw on you? We all melt and think it's just affection, and often it is, but it can also be a very specific request.
Think of it like they're tapping you on the shoulder. It could be a simple, hey, pay attention to me. It could be an, my food bowl is empty, or a request to go outside. Or maybe it's, I'm a little scared right now, I need some comfort. And yes, of course, sometimes it's just a pure and simple, I love you. Context is everything.
But here's the thing, not all their behaviors are about what's happening in the moment. Some of them are, well, they're ancient. These are echoes from their wild ancestors playing out right on your living room floor.
Oh, this one's a classic. That whole bedtime ritual. The digging, the scratching, the spinning around and around before they finally plop down. What's that all about?
It comes straight from their wolf ancestors. See, in the wild, they do this to clear their sleeping area of any sticks or bugs, to stomp down the grass to make a comfy nest, and to mark their territory with scent glands in their paws. So when your dog does it, they're basically just fluffing the pillows and saying, this spot is mine. It's that ancient hardwire. And hey, speaking of spinning, let's talk about the other time they do it. You know, right before they do their business. It might look a little silly, but believe me, it's a very serious procedure. That little spin actually serves a few purposes. It's a 360-degree safety check because, you know, it's a vulnerable moment. It also spreads their scent from those paw glands we talked about. But here is the absolutely mind-blowing part. Studies have shown they often align themselves with the Earth's north-south magnetic axis. We don't totally know why yet, but how cool is that?
Okay, to understand this next behavior, we need a quick little biology lesson. Your dog has this amazing piece of biological tech called the vomeronasal organ. You can think of it as a super-powered scent detector that's specifically designed to read chemical messages, like pheromones.
So, when you see your dog lick another dog's pee, yeah, I know, it's gross, but try not to cringe. Here's what's really happening. They are gathering scent molecules, running them through that special organ, and essentially reading a super detailed social media profile of the other dog. We're talking gender, health, diet, you name it. It's not bad manners, it's data collection.
And finally, let's dive into the behaviors that give us a direct window into our dog's emotional state, whether that's anxiety, sheer boredom, or pure, unadulterated joy.
Ever seen your dog do that full-body shake even when they're perfectly dry? A lot of the time, it's an emotional release. It could be pure excitement, like when you grab the leash for a walk. It can also be a way for them to literally shake off stress after a tense encounter. And hey, sometimes it's just their version of a big morning stretch to get the body going.
But here's a really important distinction. If the shaking is focused just on their head and ears, and they're scratching a ton, that's different. That could be a sign of an ear infection.
And in that case, it's definitely time to call the vet.
Okay, this is a big one for so many pet parents. You come home to find your couch cushions have exploded or the drywall has become a chew toy. What is going on?
First things first, your dog is not being bad. This is a cry for help. The root cause is almost always one of three things: deep separation anxiety, plain old boredom, or a whole lot of pent-up energy with nowhere to go. They're not trying to destroy your stuff, they're trying to cope. And understanding the why is the first step to finding a solution.
So, the takeaway from all of this is pretty simple. From a head tilt to a yawn to a chewed-up shoe, your dog is constantly talking to you. Their weird habits aren't so weird once you start to learn the language. The only real question is, are you listening?